And good morning, Tennessee Valley. It's a great start to the week, Monday, August the 20th. We hope that you've had a good weekend, that this past week was a great one for you. Let's start off with a brand new week, and let's have a fantastic week ahead. Whew, boy, last week was a busy week for us down at the United Way, and we're going to talk a little bit about that because I have as a special guest today Matt Ryerson with United Way. Just happens to be my boss, so I have to be very nice to him when he comes on. But we're going to talk a little bit about the United Way, just briefly. But we have a special thing that we're going to do for those of you that did not get to attend our kickoff last week, which was on Wednesday. We had as our special guest speaker John Smoltz. So we are going to show John's presentation to us, his speech to us at the United Way kickoff, and what a great event it was, and what a great presentation he did for us. So we're going to show that. For those of you that did see it, I know you'll want to see it again. So that will be coming up. Matt and I will talk just a little bit about United Way. And then I've got another special guest, and it's someone I've known for, we were trying to determine how many years it's been, and it's been, 25, 30 years. I can't remember because we're both so young. It can't be that long, but I have Linda Caldwell, and she is with the Tennessee Overhill. And actually, I'm going to get more into what the exact title of it is, and we're going to find out a little bit more about that and what's going on with them in our community. So we are looking at having a great show. By the way, you see next to me my co-host. He doesn't get the name on the credits like he should. I need to get Joe to start doing that and putting Alan Mincy and Lou. This is Lou, our mascot down at the United Way. Live United, Lou, L-U. And as you see here, we've got the book, John Smoltz's book. We've also got, some of you may have seen the supplement that was in the Cleveland Daily Banner last week about our United Way and the pretty little girl on the cover. We may even mention who she is here in a few minutes, but we've got a great show coming up. We hope that you will stay tuned, and we will be right back with Matt Ryerson and John Smoltz on tape right after these messages.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
And welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on this beautiful Monday morning. We hope you're up and at 'em, and if not, you better get up soon because you got to get to work or your boss will get mad at you. I'll just bring my boss in so he'll know if I'm late. It's because I had him on. And we never mentioned where we're at, but we're over here at Cleveland State Community College in the beautiful studio that they have here. I'm sorry, Matt Ryerson with United Way. I should give you the proper introduction, but we're here at Cleveland State. One of our great supporters in town,
yes,
for not only United Way but for our community. Carl Height.
Yeah, Dr. Carl Height and his wife have been generous supporters personally, but probably on a larger scale have always been great supporters of the United Way and the entire community, not just through generous giving, but as well as utilization of their facilities and true partnership, even loaning out their students to do service work here in the community.
Yes.
Many of our United Way funded programs have a number of Cleveland State volunteers and Vista workers and all sorts of things that are working right here in our community. So thank you to Carl and Cleveland State.
And they put out great graduates like me.
There you go.
Graduating class of 19...
Example number 1.
79. Wow, that's been a long time ago. But, hey, we were talking about United Way, and I was mentioning some things, and I'm not going to let you get out of here without... We showed this, and this beautiful little girl on the front here with her Live United T-shirt, and it's a good thing she looks like her mom because this just happens to be I don't know who Chloe looks like.
She looks like her mom.
I think so.
That's my daughter Chloe. So she just turned 4, just like a week ago. So,
oh yeah. But what a wonderful family that you have.
Thank you.
For those of you that have never met Matt's wife and his son
Jackson
and his daughter Chloe and the new addition
Gabby Ray, which this is like a homecoming here. I used to host Tuesday mornings. I went a little hiatus for the family, and hope to be coming back real soon. So
that's you and Doctor.
No,
not
he's
yet.
in his doctorate, Mr. Tolbert.
Mr. Tolbert,
who's also here at Cleveland State.
Exactly. Oh yeah, we need to mention that. But hopefully, they were the Tuesday morning staple for everyone. They always watch Tuesday morning to see you guys and Sarah with the entertainment news. So hopefully they'll be back soon. But
yes.
I asked Matt to come on because, of course, we're both with United Way, but we had a great event last Wednesday.
Huge.
Was that not great?
Unbelievable.
And it was the kickoff to our campaign, even though the campaign started with some of our companies prior to that. It's the official big blowout to start the campaign. It was at Lee University,
650-ish people. Unbelievable.
And a special guest
Yeah.
that, first off, we had one special guest that we didn't really announce that much, but that was Jermaine Purfoy. I never can say his name.
Purfoy. He's a Lee graduate, and he was an American Idol finalist.
And he sang the national anthem.
He didn't sing it.
Oh, no.
He blew it out. I mean, it was unbelievable. Wonderful.
It was the best rendition that I've ever heard since Marvin Gaye at the NBA All-Star Game, I guess. I don't know. But
our special guest speaker, who heard many national anthems, said it was one of the best he had ever heard.
And our special guest was John Smoltz, who has played baseball for 20 years with the Braves and a couple more afterwards. So he heard it every day.
Yes.
And just thank you for coming and doing our national anthem. Thank you, John Smoltz.
Unbelievable.
For coming. Was that not a great?
You'll see it for yourselves.
Right.
He understands our community, he understands service to your community, and did an amazing job, told some hilarious stories.
He did. And I think we've got that on the video, especially the one about his learning that it's probably good to pick your own song when you come in from the bullpen. instead of letting someone else pick it for you.
That's a good teaser.
But yeah, we're going to come back after this, but we've got about a 27, 28-minute segment of John Smoltz's presentation to the United Way supporters and all over at Lee University. So Joe, if you're ready, let's go to the tape.
Well, thank you, Richie. And it's not my first time here at Lee University. I got to tell a quick story before I go into my little story and then the message that I have for you today, and hopefully some questions that you may have always wanted to ask. My first time at Lee University to speak to the baseball team was an interesting one. It was fun for me, maybe not so fun for Richie. I told Richie, I said, based on my schedule, I said, we'll come pick you up in a helicopter, and then we'll just land on the softball field, and that'll help me maximize my time. So we picked a place to pick up Richie, my buddy who's the pilot, and a helicopter has two pilots. Basically, you could fly it with one, but there's a spot for the co-pilot. Well, I was in the co-pilot's spot. Picked up Richie, didn't shut the blades off. He comes in, sits in the back seat. Back seat can fit 4 more people. And so he put on the headsets, and I'm talking, and the pilot's talking. Well, Richie, the whole way there, really didn't say a word. Didn't say really much of anything. And we land in between the lights, you know, and land on the softball field, and we get out of the helicopter, and, you know, I've known Richie for a long time. He's got a lot to say, and I figured maybe he wasn't feeling well, and certainly he wasn't, because he thought I was flying the helicopter. And he thought that was my first flight. So, needless to say, when you're coming over the mountain and you're coming over the areas in a helicopter, it's got a pretty unique look to it, and I could see why now he was a little nervous in the back seat. But I've known Richie for a long time, and our introduction was not quite the introduction you would always think, that you would just hit it off really fast. Richie has always done my baseball camps. And I was raw, I was young, I was naive to a lot of things, and so was I in my faith. Not that I didn't have faith, I just didn't totally understand it. And the first thing I asked Richie, kind of really the first thing other than him doing my camp, is, what do you think about these born-again Christians anyways? It's kind of an awkward statement. Well, his answer wasn't awkward. He just said, I am one. And I went, oh, okay, nice to meet you. But we have become great friends. He's had a great impact in my life, and it's the reason why I'm here today. Tell you a small story about myself. The fact that I grew up in Warren, Michigan. I've got a brother and a sister, mom and dad. I grew up in a family, a hardworking family, probably middle class. My dad owned a business, office, Sony retail shop. I mean, back in the day when Walkmans were really first coming out and 8 tracks were being replaced by cassettes, and he had the latest and greatest, and we thought we were we just thought we had the advantage on everybody when it first came out. Big screen TV, projectors, and all those different things. So my dad worked really hard. He worked 2 jobs, matter of fact, and his 3rd job was he played in a band for probably 40 years. He played the accordion. And so I grew up basically listening to the accordion, going to polkas, or I should say weddings, and listening to the polkas, and that's what we listened to in the car. Well, what you don't know is that that's what I was going to do in the family business, if you will. I started playing the accordion when I was 4 years old. And I was going to fall right in line with what my dad did, and from what I understand, I was pretty good. I don't remember a lot of those days, but 4 years old to 7, I knew the accordion was bigger than me. But that's what I was meant to do, and that's what I knew, and that's what I was talented to do, and I practiced all the time, and so that's what I knew as a youngster. Well, at the age of 7, for whatever reason, you know, I just felt like this urge to play professional baseball, and I tell it in my book in a way that it was the life that I lived. It was what I knew. My dad worked awfully hard, and I told my parents, I said, I'm going to be a Major League Baseball player at the age of 7. Now, if you can only in your own family inject that, And it would seem very unrealistic and improbable at best, not to mention coming from a kid who's playing the accordion. Lawrence Welk was on our house TV quite a bit. But my parents kind of, I think at the time, maybe pacified me a little bit, but said, you know what, we want you to pursue your dreams. We've always told you to pursue your dreams. Let's just keep that going, you know, but let's have a backup plan. And I say this as innocent as day. As at 7 years old, my mom and dad, I was with my mom at this time. We were at the gas station back when they did full serve, and it was kind of accustomed to do full serve. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and she said, well, what's your backup plan? I said, I already know that too. And I said, if I don't make it as a Major League Baseball player, I'm going to work at a gas station. She said, all right, nothing wrong with that. Let's pursue your dreams. That's when it started, the age of 7 for me. As I told you, I had a really close-knit family. When my mom and dad taught me the moral fibers and character that I hopefully have lived by and made them proud today. We didn't have, we had a very modest, very small home. Matter of fact, when I go back, I look at it and I go, wow, 3 of us lived in that home. My brother and I shared a room. But my life consisted of a motivation that came from within. I obviously think God impressed upon my heart to do something like this or think like this. And so I began my career throwing against a brick wall, a rubber baseball. Anything I could throw, I would throw it. And I emulated anything and anybody that ever threw a baseball. I didn't go to any camp. I didn't do any lessons. I learned on my own. My mom and dad didn't know anything about sports, although they know a lot right now. But my dad, being a musician and saying he did play sports, I don't see any evidence of it whatsoever, but I got to trust that he's not lying to me. Our family genes, my mom being full-blooded Italian and my dad Czechoslovakian and German, there really wasn't much in the family genes that would even promote or think that being 6'3", I'm the tallest person in my entire family. So all the things, and maybe when you're thinking about your goals maybe stacked up against you, I didn't know any better. I just knew I was going to be it, and I knew what to stay away from and what to pursue and how to get there. So all these years growing up, throwing a rubber baseball against a brick wall with the strike zone and tape put on there, I was pitching in my mind in the major leagues. I pitched so many games in my mind that it became such a surreal feeling. It was so easy to think about the big moment, the big game. I tell this as honest as true, as I said, my house stood on the street. Back in those days, you didn't have to lock your door. We walked to the park. We played baseball all the time. School was very important. Obviously, God first, family, school, and then sports. Well, I'd stay out there till I got called in. It was about 45 feet from the brick wall to the curb, and every once in a while I'd sneak into the street because I knew arm was getting better and I could throw a little farther, but my mom would yell to make sure I'd stay on the grass. Well, I pitched 100, at least, 7th games of the World Series in my mind. I pitched them. And I was realistic. I didn't think I'd be a broadcaster, so maybe I had that gift of broadcasting in my mind what the game was like. But I went 99-1. Yeah, see, if I'd have said 100-0, you wouldn't have believed that at all, but 99-1 is more believable. I did. I threw that one loss in there just to make it realistic, but that's the way I thought. And people ask me all the time, they say, what was it like in Game 7 against Jack Morris, the guy you were idolizing growing up, and pitching the Game 7 in front of all those people, and it was a deafening crowd, it was in a dome. Why they would build a dome with a white ceiling is beyond me. Playing baseball, it makes no sense. But I was right at home. I was a kid. I was 9 years old. I was living that dream. It was not nervous. I wasn't scared. I wasn't afraid to fail. I had already done this in my mind so many times that I was getting to live it out. Ultimately, we should have won. We didn't win. You know the rest of the story. No runs. We lose 1-0 in 10 innings. But that moment in my career, and backing up a little bit, I got a chance to pitch Game 7 against the Pirates and gave up no runs in 9 innings, and then pitch the clincher against Houston 9 innings, and we win. That was what I thought I was supposed to be and do. I won't get into all the success and failures and what I thought and shouldn't have thought defined me, but that was a 7-year-old dream all the way to the age of 42 when I stopped playing. So you get the framework of what motivates me. As I write in the book that I said I would never do, by the way, my bucket list is all the things I said I would never do. I'm marking them off. No business, Richie mentioned, I have no business starting a Christian school, none whatsoever. I went on that journey by the faith of God, and that's it, because if you'd have told me the rules, if I knew what I knew today, that's why I have such admiration for people who start things like this organization or other organizations, because the passion of which to do it, you know, comes from something greater than you could possibly do, because my own efforts would have failed. My own desire and the knowledge of those rules, I'd have said, thank you, that's for somebody else. But when I dive into it, just like my career at 7 years old, when you dive in with the passion and you believe, you take that as far as your human efforts can, the good Lord takes you to places that define you as a person and make your community a better place. So when I think about that school experience, holy cow. I served 10 years as chairman of the board, and as anybody who served on boards, yet alone a chairman, it's an incredible endeavor and challenge. Oh, by the way, trying to throw sliders 3 and 2 to Barry Bonds with runners on is hard enough. But all of that I will get into and share my message of why that's so important to make your community a better place, and why pouring in to people who need things, and when you have a blessing and a gift and an opportunity, it is so far better to pay it forward, to honor God with your gifts and your talents and your resources, that it's an incredible feeling to know that one day you're going to leave this earth a better place and somebody else will benefit. But digressing back to the opportunity of playing baseball, there were peaks and valleys like everybody else, and there were struggles, many more struggles that I could tell you, and I was becoming consumed a little bit in my early career with success and failure. Defining who I was, whether I went to the mall or showed my face, was not indicative of who I was as a man, a father, and a husband. So God has taken me through many, many times of trials, and I've become better for it. But I got to take you back to what also made me the person I am, the jokester, the guy who can make fun of himself and laugh, live, and learn. My dad was very proud of who he was and our last name. He was so proud of what he did, he could sell you anything that you thought you didn't need, and he'd explain why you needed it. He was a salesman by nature. He's a competitor. People ask, where did you get your competitive nature from? And I got to believe it's from my dad. He never let me win at anything until I was about 9, and I kicked his butt in everything. Actually, it was older, more like 16. But he really wanted, he never had to push me, but he just taught me the core belief of what it is to be your best. I've always wanted to be my best no matter what it is. And I've always wanted to honor God and honor my family. But my dad, being the salesman that he was, Ricoh was kind of a product of Sony. So he had a lot of Ricoh products, which is R-I-C-O-H, I believe. And he had a lot of adding machines, a lot of dictating machines, a lot of products for the office. So we had a Pacer, which is what I didn't tell you. It's probably one of the worst cars ever made. I hope I didn't offend anybody with a Pacer, but we owned one. And I don't know anybody else that owned a Pacer. That was one. We had a red Maverick, and my dad would take me every once in a while to school in this red Maverick. But the problem is it wasn't just a red Maverick. It was a red Maverick painted as a dictating machine, an adding machine. So the hood had the numbers and adding, the plus and all that. On top of the car had the big paper coil, you know, that paper that comes out. And inside the engine had all these noises that he could basically self-promote. So the whole car was painted as an adding machine. You got to know that my dad was very proud of what he did and what he represented, that he would take me to school. I didn't think there was to be anything crueler. So one day I just told him, I said, you know, I'm in between sports, Dad. I said, it's probably one of the best things you could do is let me out a mile from school, and if I continue to walk from there, I'll get in shape. Well, he didn't buy that. But I learned that you are who you are, and not to be ashamed of what you do or who you are. And so from that, my dad taught me a lot of lessons I'm sure he maybe never intended, or maybe he did intend to do, and that is, I'm very thankful for the life lessons. All the things that I learned in sports can be a great thing. It can also be one of the worst things if we don't handle it and do it the right way. Well, one of the things since my career spanned 21 years I'm most proud of, more than anything that I've done on the field, Richie mentioned the Roberto Clemente Award. Well, the Roberto Clemente Award is the greatest award I think a player can receive because it honors the community service, the involvement that you do. Everybody knows or should know what Roberto Clemente did, and as he died fighting for his country and serving his country, it really was the most humbling award that I can receive. You can only receive it once. Only one player per year receives it, and it does represent the involvement you have made in your community. I was told a long time ago, wherever you are, give back and do the things that you can do to put a smile on people's faces. I will tell you about one time in my life as a Brave that impacted me in a positive way when I thought it was a negative experience. We used to go on the Braves Caravan. And what the Braves Caravan basically should stand for is you're terrible and you're searching for fans. Because what you do is you go around all the surrounding cities trying to promote your team and give back to a lot of fans that are really, we were the Southeast because the Marlins weren't even in play. And so we'd go city after city. It was almost like a campaign trail. And the reason I didn't like it was not so much that, getting on and off the bus, it was visiting the hospitals. I did not like at an early age seeing what I saw. I didn't like seeing the cancer patients. I didn't like seeing the distraught families. I didn't like seeing anything that I saw when I walked in that hospital room. But what I realized was that life was going on outside of baseball. What I realized that the impact that this jersey had, it wasn't even me at that time because I wasn't very good, that this impact, this smile, this difference for 5 minutes you were making was so impactful that I decided after that was done and we no longer did a caravan, that I was going to go with my family one day, every chance I could, to the hospital. It formed a relationship with Children's Healthcare Atlanta that I still have today. It formed a part of me that every baseball player, every athlete, every person of significance should deal with and see. It will forever change you. So that part, which I didn't like, the byproduct of it changed me forever. It started my mission, if you will, to try and help. You can't help every cause, but the causes that are near and dear to your heart. So I did. And Children's Healthcare, we did a golf tournament for forever, it seemed like. They're still doing it today. Atlanta Community Food Bank is a big part of my time here, those who go hungry. And what I'm getting at is this room right here has an opportunity, and already has, with the opportunity of contributions, resources, and time, to affect so many people. People you may see, people you may never know, a community that you love, and a place that you hope to make better. See, I know it's a baseball theme, and I love the baseball theme, so I thank you for that, the hot dogs and the hamburgers. But see, in a baseball field, there's 9 guys that you visibly get to see. So those 9 guys are all accomplishing one goal. Well, sometimes there are some selfish goals, and those teams usually don't win. But as a pitcher, the game doesn't start unless I throw the baseball. But I do not control anything after that. So I need 8 other guys to do their job so it looks good for me. It kind of works that way in the charities and in the communities that you're involved. We need people to do their part so that everybody can benefit. Because when people don't do their part and it's up to one, or I talk about the Clydesdales. The Clydesdales are those horses that usually are out in front, which I found out later are not really Clydesdales, but that's not the point of this conversation. They're an extra different horse. But the Clydesdales, when they work together, can pull an incredible amount of weight. It only takes one to get spooked. They're done. They stop. I know this for a fact because one day a promotion on the field, the Clydesdales, they told me about this before the game, but I completely forgot. I'm in my mode. I'm walking out in the 4th inning, and I see these horses come right by me. Well, they're doing the whole track. Well, one gets spooked. They don't move for 7 minutes. 7 minutes on the field, on the mound, is a long time to wait. Matter of fact, I'm getting ticked at these horses about now. But my point to the message is they all have to work together. And working together, they pull tremendous amount of weight. See, I may have started the school. I was not a reason the school was successful. Together, the board, the community, everybody had to chip in. And at each rate, it's imperative that you understand it's the same. sometimes in endeavors, and everyone who knows when you have capital calls and fundraisers like this, and people are trying to raise and supersede the goal in a tough economy and things are tough, sometimes people think, well, my little doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It does matter. And pushing over the top and sacrificing some more is huge. Paying it forward, as the good book says. And I think the one thing that I've learned, that my passion necessarily isn't your passion, but that the passion to do something, to believe in something, can bring people along in a way where the cause just gains momentum and obviously benefits those around. See, this great cause is not affecting just one, but over 20 different opportunities to serve the needy and the elderly and the people who need our help. And so when all the things that I've learned in my life is I can only push so far, but I need those people behind me. As a baseball theme, I need those 8 guys. And it doesn't stop there. Having done both roles, by the way, I need that bullpen sometimes. And I need them to come in and pick up what I had done, or vice versa, or them pick me up. So I encourage you today, as you've heard in so many different times of your life about the need for this, the need for that, but this is about your community. This is about making this place a special place. We have worldwide problems, and God knows we have problems in the government and what we're facing today. But this is what I know in the things that I've been able to do. An athlete has too big of a stage, but because of that stage, we've been able to bring about causes, bring awareness to causes, and push causes over the top. We also have been, and my colleagues, reasons for not so good things. But for every negative that happens in our sport, there's, I promise you, 8 good, but you only hear about the negative. I was about to say that I'm most proud about surviving my sport with the character that my parents gave me, and know I did it the right way. I never gave in to doing anything wrong or illegal to get me ahead. I was always able to put my head on the pillow. I don't know about a lot of guys in this game, but it was not about me. It was about glorifying God. When you glorify Him daily, you're doing what He asks you to do, and sometimes you get a nudge to be obedient in areas where it might stretch you a little bit, or it might be a painful situation financially, but I promise you in the end, He's stretching us to be better and to make the places around us better. Because it does talk about we're going to leave this place someday, and somebody else is going to benefit over what we have done. And that cycle will repeat until one day it stops. That's the message I hope you understand from today. I hope you understand that the power and impact that you have goes so far than you can imagine. And that the impact you have not only in your own tables, but in your community. I'll share this funny story, and then I'll let whatever time's left to ask questions and get as many done so that I stop rambling. When I became a closer, people talk about asking me all the time, what did you enjoy? What was it like? Well, let me give you just a snapshot of one thing in sports that I wasn't real hip on at the time. In our sport, for whatever reason, lately, if you do not go to the plate or the mound without a personal song, there's something wrong with you. I don't understand when it started, but in this new age and technology that we have, everybody's got to have a song. Some players, matter of fact, couldn't even function if their song wasn't being played, which I don't understand. So they came to me and they said, we need you to pick a song. I said, I don't have a song. I don't even know the words to one song, and I grew up listening to Lawrence Welk. What do you want me to do? And they said, well, we just need a song. I said, well, make it your own. You know what? When I come in the mound, I don't even want to be thinking about a song, so I want it to be natural. So I go in the bullpen. Everything's gone good. I'm probably 20 games in or maybe less, not thinking about the song. See, my focus when I opened that bullpen door, and I know it's strange when you hear me say this, but I thought I was going to give it up. And people say, well, why do you think like that? I said, well, that edge that I needed, that pressure was that when I walk through this door, this is not too easy. So the thought of might be giving it up put me in a place to say, John, don't get carried away with success. This is not easy. You might give it up. So it wasn't a negative, defeated mindset. It was a mindset that put me on edge to go, I love the pressure. So when I opened the door one day and I'm coming through, they obviously thought I wasn't coming in the game because they started playing Dancing Queen as I was running out to the mound. I have the CD. Don't get me wrong. I like ABBA, but it's not the song I want to be hearing when I go out to the mound. So the one thing that I didn't want to do was think about the song. I'm now thinking about the song. I get to the mound, I'm going, just John, step off, concentrate on your task, deal with it later. Well, they couldn't apologize more quickly when I got off the field and got in the clubhouse. They were like, oh my gosh, we are so sorry. We didn't know you were coming in. There's a mix-up. I said, no, that's fine. I realize now I need a song. So I'm going to get the bullpen together, and we're going to come up with a song. And I got my veteran guys that were down there, a lot of ex-closers that said, guys, you know who I am, you know what I represent, don't embarrass me, but you need to come up with a song. They said, we got it. So the next day they said, we are going to rock your world when you go out there. I said, well, that's not quite what I had in mind, but they said, just wait till the next day you go out. So I opened the door anticipating what I don't know. And all of a sudden on the Jumbotron is lightning and it's thunderstruck by AC/DC. And I come running out, and if they ever have the footage, I am covering my mouth because I'm laughing. I cannot believe AC/DC. My dad must be flipping if he's heard AC/DC coming out to the mound. Well, from a guy who didn't care to a guy that decided he'd play a little DJ, I mixed in Star Wars theme song from when the door opened to when I got to the grass infield, then AC/DC started hitting. It became a humongous hit. People went nuts, and that's the story of the song that was once, I owe it to ABBA, Dancing Queen, to get the thunderstruck and the intimidation and all that came with it when I came out of the pen. I had an incredible career. I always wanted to stay in Atlanta Brave. I was real close to finishing my career in Atlanta Brave. It didn't work out. I got a chance to get back in the postseason after major shoulder surgery, and the opportunity to get my number retired in the Braves Hall of Fame was so unbelievable that I want you to know that when people say, well, what about the Hall of Fame? I've never thought about the Hall of Fame. I've never thought about my number being retired. You know what I thought about? When I was 7 years old, I'm going to make it to the big leagues. And I'm going to do that as hard and as long as I can do. And then the next venture, the next opportunity in my life, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be the best I can. And so for this opportunity to speak to you today, I just ask you in your hearts to see what you can do to help United Way. This is a great organization. There's a lot of great organizations. But for today, a little bit of a selfish goal. I told you I got a great friend in Richie Hughes. I want him to win. I got to be honest. Sorry, Debbie, but I want him to win. So with that, I know there's some people that could handle some questions. We'll get in as many as you can. Give me the sign when it's time to go and go back to work. I thank you for your time. I thank you for allowing me to ramble a little bit about some passions in my life. I do have my son here, John. Andrew Smoltz is here. He's going to Michigan State, so thank him for his sleeping on the way up. I guess he was a good co-pilot, but that's what college kids do. He will not be sleeping on the way home, I can promise you that. So.
What a great program we had.
Oh, it was outstanding, and John Smoltz is just a spectacular speaker who not only shared some historical stories from his career, but also really tied it into our community.
And, a great message for all that were there that, you can make a difference as one, but together we can all make a difference and make this community even better and we live in a great community.
We do.
But just think what we can all do together. And that's what United Way is all about.
It is. Live United. That's our theme.
Matt, thanks for coming in. I know you've got places to be this morning. I've got to get to work sometime later, so maybe I'll beat you there. But thank you for coming on. Thanks to the folks over at Lee for supplying us with the video.
Yes.
We are going to take a break, and then we're going to be back with Linda Caldwell from Tennessee Overhill. So we'll be right back.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
And welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on this Monday morning. I love the shots that they have leading into the segments of the pretty trees and foliage and everything like that. And it sort of leads into my next guest, who is Linda Caldwell. Linda and I have known each other for quite a while. It's been, well, we're both from the Etowah area.
That's right.
So we've known each other for a long time up there, prior to me being in Cleveland and prior to you being a part of the Tennessee Overhill.
That's right.
And
we go back to the old baseball days.
The old baseball days, yeah, and it's appropriate. We just had John Smoltz on. Right. But I asked Linda to come on because I know there's so much going on in our community. We've tried to do this a couple of times, and either the calendar didn't work for us or one of us was under the weather, but had her come in today, and this is great because there's a lot of things going on in our community. Before we get into that, though, I want you to tell me, what is Tennessee Overhill?
Well, the Tennessee Overhill is actually a region. It covers McMinn, Monroe, and Polk counties, and it's a cultural tourism region that was established back in 1990. The name Overhill, actually we chose that to honor the Overhill Cherokees who lived in this area prior to statehood, primarily in the mid-1700s. But the Cherokee settlements and people who lived along the Hiwassee, Tellico rivers, Little Tennessee, and their tributaries were known as the Overhill Cherokees because those settlements were located on the western slopes of the Appalachian Mountains, over the hills from the Cherokee settlements in the Carolinas and Georgia. Okay. So they were always referred to as the Overhill Cherokees.
I never knew why it was called Overhill. I just assumed it was, and I think a lot of folks may think it's just the train excursion. That's what the Overhill is. Yeah. So I thought it was just the train went over the hill.
Oh, but, no.
But no, there's a lot more to it than that. But that I did not realize that we had a name for the different Cherokee tribes.
And the geographic region that our tourism region is in pretty much follows the geographic region of the Overhill Cherokee.
Okay, well, how did you get involved with the Overhill, Tennessee Overhill?
Well, I was actually working at the Etowah Arts Commission back in 1990, and we had just finished doing a history project up in Etowah and looking at the history of the railroad, its impact on the town, and sort of the life cycles of the community as it related to the railroad. And we'd gotten interested in our neighbors over in Ducktown, wondered if they had the same experiences as a company town, only in their case a copper mining town. And Englewood was talking about doing something with a museum based on textile heritage. So we all began to talk, and we found out there was going to be a pilot project to demonstrate whether or not communities could partner together across county lines and could combine cultural and artistic resources with the business community to develop sustainable tourism programs. So that's how I came back. So we applied to be one of the pilot projects in Tennessee. So we were selected as one of 4 in Tennessee and one of 16 nationally, and we've been working at it ever since.
And you've been there ever since, too.
I've
so
been there ever since.
we're
Yes, I'm
looking
the
at
oldest living tourism director in Southeast Tennessee.
Wow.
I think.
We're not going to ask your age or anything like that, so we'll trust.
Okay.
But but you've been with them then for 23?
Well, since 1990.
Yeah.
I don't. Was it 22?
22, 23,
22
something
years,
like that.
yeah.
I did not realize that it had even been around that long.
Oh, yeah.
And you and I were talking the other day that the Tennessee Overhill Association group, Heritage Association, I guess is what you call it, was involved with our Olympics when they came over to the river.
We were. In fact, we managed the Cultural Olympiad on the Ocoee River during the 1996 events on the Ocoee. Had a great time.
Was that not a great event?
Oh, that was a great event.
You know, we talk about John Smoltz being at our kickoff and how exciting that was. I still have memories of the 1996 Olympics on the river.
Oh, I know. And I still brag about the fact that I know Joe Jacoby. He won the gold in Barcelona.
I know Joe Jacoby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Joe's doing well. He's at the U.S. Canoe and Kayak
he
Association
is.
now.
And at one time they had a little, I want to say bed and breakfast or something over in Copper Hill, didn't he?
They did for a while, but now that he's working out of Oklahoma and then he's going back and forth, prior to these Olympics, he was going back and forth, I think, to London fairly often too.
Good guy.
Great guy.
Good guy. And I've got a great respect now for those whitewater athletes too.
Ooh, me too.
That is tough. You brought some information for
I
us.
did. Well,
what is going on with the Tennessee Overhill as we get out of summer into the fall?
Well, fall is a great time to come and visit our area. We're blessed with the entire southern half of the Cherokee National Forest there, and our mountains go all the way up to the North Carolina line, so we're a great place for fall foliage. And there are just so many different ways to see the fall foliage. We have 2 National Scenic Byways in the Tennessee Overhill.
Okay, I would think one is 64.
One is 64, it's the Ocoee Scenic Byway.
Right.
The other is the Cherahela Skyway,
Of course.
which climbs up to over 5,000 feet. It connects
is-
Tellico Plains
That's beautiful up
to
there.
Robbinsville, North Carolina. The other ways to see them, of course, one of the ways is on the train, the Hiwassee River Rail Adventure. And they have, people who ride the train have 2 options. They can do a half-a-day trip that goes alongside the Hiwassee River, through the Hiwassee Gorge, and that's the only way in there, unless you go on foot, is on that train to see that magnificent gorge, around the famous Hiwassee Loop and back. Or you can take the all-day trip we call the Copper Hill Special. And that one does everything I just said, but it continues into Copper Hill. They get there at midday, they get to get off the train, shop for a couple hours and eat lunch. Lots of cute little restaurants and places to shop and eat in Copper Hill now.
Now, is that going on right now? Or is
Oh
that...
yes, it's been going on since April, but we really ramp up in the fall. Right now in August, the trains are running on weekends. But as we move through September and into October, then at that particular time, we'll start ramping up to several days a week.
How many
take the
times have you
trains.
been on the train?
You know, I go on the train maybe once a year because we own the track, and what that means is much of the work that I do other than marketing the trip has to do with administering a railroad. And as I tell people, they don't even let me blow the whistle. I just push papers. The guys at Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum run the trains and do a wonderful job.
I have never been on it. I cannot believe
You
it.
gotta come and get on the train.
Yeah, seeing as how I'm from Etowah, which is, you know, the
Yes.
train and everything like that. My mom rode on it one day,
did
and I
she?
think she actually sat beside Judge Carol Ross and found out that we're related somehow, although I don't think Judge Ross would ever admit to it.
Oh, I bet he will.
Well, I don't know, but she just enjoyed it so much, and I can't think of a better way to see the fall colors.
Oh, it's wonderful. And the river, and a lot of things too, in addition to the foliage, there's an opportunity to see wildlife. Usually you're going to at least see blue herons in the water.
Okay.
And sometimes occasionally you might see an eagle, and it's very likely you'll see an osprey.
What about a bear?
I don't know if they've seen a bear from the train or not.
Okay.
I have not been told about seeing a bear from the train, but now they see the bear sometimes up on the Cherryhala Skyway.
Yes, yes. But no, for the folks who like to see the birds and everything like that, that's got to be great. And,
Oh, it is. They
and to
love
see an
it.
eagle fly
That
up in
they
that
love.
area.
There's usually
Wow.
an eagle nest, and there's actually an eagle nest around Parksville Lake every year too.
Okay.
And Harold Webb at Reliance on the Hiwassee River tells me that he had one come down last year and pick up one of his chickens and leave with it.
That's. I stopped at Webb's Grocery. I guess that's what you call it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still Webb Brothers store.
Yeah, the Webb store. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to call it grocery. I stopped there back in the summer when I had some friends visit, and it's still the quaint little post
it
office
is.
type thing. We've got so many things in our community that a lot of folks that live here don't experience. You know how it is.
I
Something in your
know.
own backyard.
Well, you know, when I took this job, I thought I knew a lot about the area, and I was shocked to find out I didn't know anywhere near what I thought I knew about the area. We just kept finding wonderful things throughout the three-county area.
Yeah. What else is going on? We talk about the train. Anything else going on with the?
Well, actually, we're pretty excited about a couple things. We've been working really for 10 years on a project called the Unicoi Turnpike Trail.
Okay.
That is an ancient war and trade path that ran initially from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way to Von Orr, Tennessee, when Chota was there and was the capital of the Cherokee Nation.
Sure, sure.
So back about 10 years ago, we started working on the stretch of that old trade path that runs from Von Orr, Tennessee to Murphy, North Carolina. And the Forest Service, bless their hearts, they restored a 2.5-mile section of the original roadbed in the National Forest that you can hike on. And we developed a driving trail that's marked with, you know, highway markers, and we have a free trail map that people can have to explore that and sort of follow the footsteps. And that goes through layers of history from, you know, the Revolutionary War through to the Trail of Tears. Now, the route was used during the Trail of Tears to transport probably about 3,000 or more Cherokee people from North Carolina over to Coker Creek, where they were interred at Fort Armistead before they were brought down here to Bradley County to Charleston, to Fort Cass. We are just now talking with the National Park Service. We're putting together a 5-year cooperative plan with the National Park Service to work on all things Trail of Tears in our area. And the first project that we're going to be working on, and you're hearing this first, we haven't done a news release on this yet,
cool.
but the first project that we're going to be working on is we're going to be working with Dr. Brett Riggs, an archaeologist at the University of North Carolina, who's going to help us identify the route that they took from Fort Armistead down the mountain down here to Charleston, Tennessee.
Wow.
So we'll be starting work on that this fall.
Okay, when do you think that would be completed?
I
If you
think
had to
his
guess.
study will be completed hopefully in a year or less, depending, you know, sometimes it has to do with the weather and when they can get out and his other job responsibilities. But we're looking forward to it. And once we get that determined, we'll do a public presentation and share everything that we have found out about it.
That'll be great.
In keeping kind of with the whole Trail of Tears theme, which actually next year is the 175th anniversary of the Trail of Tears, Fort Marr, you know, is the last piece left of the original old fort that was built down on the Conasauga River in the early 1800s. It has now been moved. What's left of it has
it was
been
in
moved.
Benton, wasn't it?
It was in Benton.
Okay.
But the state parks took ownership of it several years ago. I think Polk County turned it over to the state of Tennessee several years ago, and it has been moved to the G Creek Ranger Station at Hiwassee-Ocoee River State Park, and they've already started restoration on it. They've restored the roof. It's going to be open to the public, and it's right there next to the ranger station where it can be preserved and taken care of.
I did not know that either. See, there's so much going on.
Oh, there's a lot going on
in the community that you know. I have to have you on the television show
Oh,
so I can learn what's going on.
Oh, and about the time I think I know what's going on, I find out all this stuff
Something
I didn't
new.
know was going on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything else going on with the Overhill?
Well, of course, fall brings lots of festivals.
Yes.
You know, they have the Arts and Crafts Festival coming up early in October in Etowah. Pumpkin Town in Athens is a nice event.
Oh, yes.
And they base that kind of on their heritage because before there was in Athens, there was a community near Athens, not exactly, but near, that was called Pumpkin Town.
Okay.
And so they kind of go back to their past, and there are heritage games and lots of things going on.
Karen Kelly, who works with the Chamber of Commerce
Yes.
up there, I know she will come on and talk a little bit
She
about
will come
that.
on and talk about, and she was very active in MooFest as well.
Exactly.
That
Oh,
they
yeah,
had
that was a great,
they had in May.
That was a great thing.
So we have that going on, and then Coker Creek has the Autumn Gold Festival. That's about a 30-year-old event that's going on.
A lot of things happening.
Lots of stuff is happening.
Now, how can we find out about these things? Do you have a website?
We do have a website, and also we have good partner and friend at the Southeast Tennessee Tourism Association, and everything going on in Southeast Tennessee, including Bradley County, they put on their website.
Great.
And it's www.southeasttennessee.com.
Okay.
And you're most welcome to go to ours, which is www.tennesseeoverhill.com.
Okay. Facebook page?
We've got a Facebook page.
Everybody's
and
got a Facebook page.
They do, and we're finding that if we put up something like a rare flower found in the forest, something, it generates a lot of conversation about what it is. And we started a Twitter account,
Good.
so I try to tweet 5 days a week.
We've had to become more technologically minded than we ever did when we were.
I know. When the
first knew each
Tennessee
other.
Overhill got started, you know, we bought some advertising, and we printed materials, but we didn't even have a website in 1990.
Okay.
And we're redoing our website right now because we realized the one we have is out of date. So
Now,
we're
where's your
working
office
on.
located? Are you
Now,
in the depot?
Our office is located in the L&N Depot in downtown Etowah, thanks to the city of Etowah, who gives us free rent and utilities. Couldn't be nicer.
Well, you know, we love Etowah since
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got a little tie to that.
Exactly.
And your telephone number, in case someone
Telephone
needs
number
to reach
is
you.
423-263-7232. If they don't live in McMinn County and it's long distance, let them call us on our toll free, which is 877-510-5765.
Okay, we just got a minute left or so, but of course I know the family, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Is Jim still with the railroad?
Jim is retired from the railroad, and he does sports photography for the Polk County News.
Fantastic. Wes, of course, is coaching at...
He's coaching baseball at Lookout Valley High School down in
Okay.
Hamilton County and teaching there.
And then in Paige?
Paige is at Sweetwater. She's a physical therapist assistant, getting ready to get married in October to a Bradley County boy, Mark Longwith.
Well, of course. Well, you know,
Exactly. And Ann teaches history and coaches track at Campbell County High
I
School.
almost forgot about Ann.
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
do that. Great family. I've known this family for a
Oh,
long
thank
time.
you.
And Linda, thank you for coming on and telling us what's going on. We have to have you on again.
Well, thank you
Another
so
time.
much. It's been fun to be here and great to see you
And
again.
thank you for letting folks know we got the exclusive on the thing
That's
up
right.
on Unicoi. So
Yes, you do.
So thank you. We are out of time today for our show. Thanks Linda. Thanks Matt for coming in. Thanks John Smoltz for coming to our kickoff luncheon. We thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you hopefully in a couple of Mondays from now. Everybody have a great day. Now you have to wave. That's what we do. at the
Okay,
end.
all right.
Bye-bye.
See ya.